Hello and welcome to Across the Acres, a Beck's Hybrids podcast, where our goal is to connect, challenge, and inspire each and every one of you by interviewing others who have a story or message to share. My name is David Ringer, and I am your host, joined by my ever-faithful producer, engineer, man behind the board, Morgan Fitch.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
Good. The backwards hat again.
Always. My hair is like, it goes from decent to crazy pretty quick.
Okay.
I kind of need a haircut.
Don't believe in just trimming it yourself?
No.
Okay, just pull and snip?
I don't trust myself trimming my beard, let alone my hair. So
That's fair.
And I love my wife. I'm not sure I trust her either.
Yeah. I trim my beard. What do you think?
Looks good.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's what, 2 years out?
It is.
Excellent.
Yeah. The Rogaine is a lie.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say. But speaking of good beards, our guest today, Andy Sovern. How are you, sir?
Very well.
Welcome.
Very well. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. And thanks for being a part of our podcast. It's great to have you.
Pleasure to be here.
And your beard is maybe not quite as thick as Morgan's, but it's still pretty solid.
He keeps it nicer than I do.
My good friend from childhood and my wife get a good kick out of calling it a lady beard.
A lady beard?
Because it doesn't look like Morgan's. So
okay.
like,
man.
Yeah.
Are you okay with that?
I took it in stride.
Okay. You handled it well.
Yeah.
Were there tears?
Not publicly.
Okay. Behind the scenes, who's to say what may have happened, right?
Right.
Oh, but no, we're thrilled to have you on our podcast today. Why don't you just introduce us to Andy, your title, how long you've been at Beck's, and then we'll go into some other stuff later.
Okay. So Andy Sovern, I'm the personal health coach here by title. I guess that's basically what I do. I coach. I do a lot of coaching.
Gym buddy.
I guess that title I think could be a lot of different things. Health educator. I don't know. Provider. I don't know. Support
guy.
Therapist. On some days.
Cheerleader. You probably do a lot of that.
I'm not great at cheerleading.
Really?
I'm not.
You do it in your own way.
Yeah.
I think you're better at it than you think.
For sure.
I mean, no pom-poms, but apart from that, you do a great job.
No, I'll take that. I'll take that. So.
And family background. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up right down the street. Basically, I was born in Alexandria and then lived in Elwood through elementary school, moved up to a little town called Eaton and went to Delta High School for a few years. Came back to Alexandria in middle of my high school career, like sophomore year, and graduated from there. Met my wife there. She would not date me in high school, but we figured it out later.
Ooh, why wouldn't she date you in high school?
I don't know. I think I didn't meet her standards probably.
Okay. And then something changed.
Something changed. She ran out of options. I don't know.
Or you became just a better version of you and those standards were now met.
Yeah. I could go with that.
Yeah. I think that's probably what
happened. Grew up a bit.
And your wife's name?
Bethany. We call her Beth. She'd probably be mad that I called her Bethany on a podcast.
Yeah. No, we won't tell anybody. Will we, Morgan?
We'll cut that.
Yeah, that's our secret.
Edit.
We're not cutting that.
So Beth Cuneo is her maiden name, and she grew up in Alexandria as well. Her whole family's from there. She is an OB nurse in Anderson. She's been there for almost 18 years now, and now she serves as the educator for Community Health Network in the Anderson Hospital. I've got 3 kids, Carter, Bennett, and Aubrey. They are 14, 10, and 9. Incredibly active, keep us very spread thin and busy, and a lot of divide and conquer going on at our house most every week of the year. So
you were in the thick of it then, because that age is a very intense age, busy-wise.
Yeah.
You're just busy. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And types of activities that they're involved in.
Well, very good academically. My middle son's on student council. My older son has served on that before. They all play ball sports. My daughter right now is doing track and jiu-jitsu. My middle son is currently he's on 2 different baseball teams. We're fresh out of basketball season. My oldest son, again, fresh out of basketball and wrestling, and now is playing baseball and running track. So
the jiu-jitsu, are they allowed to practice on parents?
yeah. Well, every time she comes home, we ask, what did you learn? And she like grabs her her older brother, Bennett, the middle, and says, I learned this. I'm going to do it to Bennett.
Oh no.
And so like, he's the guinea pig. I think she's got it out for him.
Dad, let me show you this arm bar.
On Bennett.
On him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops, snap.
Yeah.
Oh my.
So, and she came home with that on her own. Like, we didn't introduce her to that. She came home and was like, I think I want to do jujitsu. What is that? And so we pulled up some YouTube videos, and she's like, yeah, I want to go.
Okay.
So very surprised by it. But she's taken to it, and she's got a friend in the class and loves it.
Good deal.
So, yeah.
It keeps them active, keeps them out of trouble.
Sure.
Can't go wrong.
For sure.
So then why Beck's Hybrids for you? You've been with us how long now? 4 years?
Okay. Yeah, you asked that a moment ago, and I lost it. So I'm coming up on my 1-year anniversary next week.
What?
Yeah, just a year.
I don't think
It's
that's
true.
true.
It's true.
It feels like you've been with us way longer than that.
I'm really in my 4th year going on. I was contracted forever.
That's why.
And I was at Culture Breakfast this morning, actually, and always kind of joke about my story being like one of the longest interview processes ever.
Yeah. And we still hired him? What were we thinking, Morgan?
Beyond
Cripes
man.
almighty. Speaking of lowering standards.
Right. I
Jeez
fooled a bunch of
Louise.
people. So, yeah, I got a phone call. I was educated for WebMD for 6 years. I was running my own gym, CrossFit style Olympic weightlifting gym, and also the executive director of a community center.
Okay.
And so kind of wearing a few different hats, working, 80, 90 hours a week to make half of what my wife made in 35 hours.
Sure.
And I got a phone call from a company down in Carmel that was looking for a health coach in Atlanta. And so I took the interview, and I drove through Atlanta on my way to the interview. And as I'm going through downtown Atlanta, I thought, what in the heck in this town needs a health coach?
Yeah.
And
for our listeners, Atlanta is what, 1,200, 1,300 people? It's not even that big, maybe.
I don't even know.
I mean, you blink and you'll miss it. It's a very small town.
Yeah.
So
in and out of there.
in and out of there pretty quick. It's not exactly a booming metropolis.
Correct.
Anyway, so continue, sir.
Yeah, so I go down to the interview, and it goes very well. And do you have any questions for us? I said, where am I going to be working in Atlanta? And they were like, it's Beck's Hybrids. Haven't you ever heard of it? And I said, I have no idea what that is.
Yeah.
So I have zero agriculture background at all. And so on my way home,
Corn is the tall stuff.
right,
Yeah, beans are the short stuff.
I detasseled.
well, you're doing good.
Yeah, and I baled some hay once.
That's good.
Or twice.
You're in.
Who's counting? But anyway, so on my way home, I came back through and I saw the facility, and I thought, oh, this makes a lot more sense now.
You bet.
And so I guess why Beck's? When I got here, I landed the job, and it felt like home right away. And we talk about our culture and our brand all the time, and not to be cliche, but like it's not something you can define. You feel it, and I have a lot of friends in a lot of different departments. I think a lot of people in a lot of different areas of Beck's have impacted me and changed who I am, and I think I've had like a similar effect on other people. And so, while I was a contracted employee, all I ever wanted was to really be a Beck's guy. And so again, a joke from Culture Breakfast is always like, I want to be a real Beck's employee, And so last year it happened. Things just kind of aligned, and we got the wheels in motion, and here I am.
You snuck through the interview process.
They fell for it, hook, line, and sinker.
Hey, it worked on your wife. It worked on Beck's. You're 2 for 2.
Yeah.
Just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I will.
Good man. So then why be a health coach?
That was a process also. I was a medic in the Navy, a hospital corpsman, and had a lot of different collateral duties in that job. I was an optometry technician. I was a lifeguard, and I worked in the hospitals, kind of bedside, medical tech type stuff. And at some point or another, I've always been a gym rat, and very competitive. I love sports, and I went and I sought them out all the time. And one of my petty officers came to me. I don't know. I was in the Chicago area, and said, "Hey, we want you to be the fitness coordinator for Naval Hospital Great Lakes." And basically, what that additional duty was going to be for me was anybody that failed the physical assessment test for the Navy had to come and see me, and then we would work together to create a plan, nutrition or physical, to help them pass this test. And
is that a hard test to pass?
Ish. We'll
Depending
say,
who you ask.
Yeah. I always got really aggravated. There was, again, it's my passion, and I used to always get beat by this skinny young guy that would smoke a pack of cigarettes on his way to the test, and he would just annihilate me in the run. He'd beat me in push-ups, and I'd get so mad. So there are people like that can pass it no problem, but then there's people that struggle.
Sure.
So it's not an easy test.
Okay.
So anyway, I never thought at that point that this would be my career after the Navy. In fact, when I got out and went to Ball State,
Chirp, chirp.
Yeah, chirp, chirp.
Yeah.
Boom goes the dynamite.
Boom goes the dynamite.
I ran from medical. I got into business classes and took those for about a year and realized I'm not cut from that cloth. And then I got into the nursing program, and I was in there, all the way up until oncology. And I was working as a patient care technician at Bennett Rehab at St. John's in Anderson, and working with stroke and debility. And all the nurses I worked with were unhappy in their roles, and I saw that. And my wife was med surg nurse, and she wasn't happy in her role. And I started to look out ahead, like, is this something I really want to do for the rest of my life? And it wasn't. I wasn't being honest with myself. And I went and I talked to my advisor, and she said, you could do this, this, and this, or you could be a health coach. And I said, what the heck's that? And she started to lay it out there, and it's exactly my role today. I meet with people, and I work with them to help them achieve their best fitness. My advisor kind of set me up with the WebMD opportunity. And that's, once I got into WebMD, it all started to kind of come together in terms of this kind of career path.
You bet.
Yeah.
You're also Olympic weightlifting coach? Is that correct?
Yeah, I've got a few different credentials with a CrossFit level 2 trainer, and then a USAW level 1 Olympic weightlifting coach.
Oh,
so
my.
When I had my gym up and running for about eight years or so, we started off as a CrossFit gym, and we held that what's it called, title, or we paid to be a member of that brand, and kind of fell in love with Olympic weightlifting in the process, and turned ourselves into more of a barbell club that did fitness classes on the side.
Okay.
So we started competing with that. I competed. I trained a few younger people, much stronger, much more fit than myself, to go on to junior nationals in Washington, or the U.S. Open in Pittsburgh, or King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. And so we had a lot of fun competing that way. I got to go to the Arnold Classic and compete in the U.S. Open. And then I broke my back, and I quit all that.
How can you tell us how you broke your back?
It wasn't really broke. I a lot of injuries from military career. I was in a few different accidents. I got hit by a semi.
Wait, hold on. I've known you for we've been working together, and you've been working with me for how long? 2 years now?
Sure.
And I never knew this about you?
No, I don't.
As a pedestrian, you got hit by a semi?
No, I was in like a little 2-door Jeep soft top on an icy, Chicago suburb, 4-lane highway.
Okay.
And I was in the middle lane, and there was a car up in front of me on the left, and there was a semi in the back on the right. The car on the left came over and hit my front bumper, and I kind of kicked sideways, shot over, hit a concrete overpass head on, and bounced back into the road. And then the semi just kind of hit my back quarter panel and sent us flipping.
It's a miracle you're here.
It really is. Yeah.
Seatbelt, of course.
I was not wearing a seatbelt.
Yeah, definitely a miracle you were here.
My passenger, my best friend, he was wearing a seatbelt, and he was just kind of dangling there. We landed on my driver's side door, and we were able to kind of crawl out of there once we came to, and I made it out with a really busted face, but no broken bones. A lot of chronic back pain after that.
Wow. You had somebody watching out for you.
For sure.
That day.
Sure. Amen.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Now, is this why you look like Joe Rogan a little bit? Because they took his picture in and when they reconstructed your face?
Yeah, that
explains it.
Yeah.
Don't tell Joe that.
Don't tell Joe.
He'll go on
Actually, he's better looking
conspiracy
than
theory.
Joe, but my opinion.
And I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
way better looking.
Very kind
And
remarks.
younger.
Yeah, I am a bit younger. Not by much, but I am younger.
Way younger. Yeah.
So,
Wow, so that contributes to the injury. We're talking about multiple injuries
Yeah.
degraded the bone in the back.
Yeah, a lot of degeneration, and then just being an athlete growing up, and I played a lot of football. Just a lot of wear and tear on the body, and then eventually I had a bulging disc, I had a fractured vertebra, and a compressed nerve. Kind of ran down my spine, or down my leg, and it was funny the timing of me coming into Beck's. So I was leaving my previous employer, and finally getting the opportunity to be a real Beck's employee. And I had to open with thank you so much for hiring me. Can I have next month off to recover from this back surgery? Because we'd been planning it. I drug my feet since 2017 is when neurosurgery first was you got to get in here and get this fixed. And I kept on no, I'll just do shots. I'll do therapy. I'll do whatever. But right when I got hired, I was hired April 19th, and I took all of April and most of May off to recover. So
wow.
Yes.
But that speaks to who Beck's is also.
Absolutely. Had great faith in me to be able to kind of work ahead and have things in line, and just very blessed that they allowed me to come in with, I was a new hire. I had no PTO, no FML. I have nothing stored up, and they, were very, very kind to let me go and fix myself and come back and do a better job for it, I think.
The word that comes to mind so many times for me is gracious.
Yeah, for sure.
They're just gracious people.
Yes. Yeah.
And we benefit from that.
Yeah, and I, again, just being fresh off Culture Breakfast, they take care of you. They you're not just employee number 52. No. You're a person, and they treat you like family.
You bet.
Right.
Speaking of which, you mentioned a couple times Culture Breakfast. Give us a brief explanation of what is Culture Breakfast.
It's one of my favorite things to do here. I'm very happy and thankful to be a part of those. But it's we meet at usually Bethany's house, or maybe Tom Hooper's, or there's other people that give up their home for that. But we take in the new hires, the onboarders, and we share our life with them, a little bit about who we are, where we came from, how we landed at Beck's, and then we share a quote, something meaningful to us, and kind of what drives us or has an impact on our day to day. And then we also hear all of those same stories from our new hires, and it can be it's very welcoming. It makes you feel like you're coming into something more than just a 9-to-5 job, right? And it can get emotional. I think people can get there, and but it's a very good feeling. Ashley Schultz said it great today. We try to get that out of you, and then we lean into it and make you feel like this is it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is it. I never worked anywhere else where I felt more a part of a family unit, not only with the Beck family, but with each other. There's just something different here, and it's unique and special.
I've said this before, for the first year I was here, I was like, I'm not going to fall into this, the
Kool-Aid.
The Kool-Aid.
Drink it.
I wasn't going to drink it. And the Christmas party rolled up, and I was like, "Can I have another, please? Another cup of the Kool-Aid? Just pour it in. Give me an IV."
Yep.
So,
amen.
Yeah.
Tremendous diversity in who you're called to coach then, if we're talking Olympic weightlifters all the way to, guys like Morgan and I who are, while we're not Olympic weightlifters, we're clearly gifted physically. How do you keep us healthy? What's the goal?
Well, I'm going to steal from CrossFit. Part of their methodology or explaining of their methodology is that we differ by degree, not kind. So,
Say that one more time. We differ by
degree, not kind. So we all need the same things, but you need it at different levels, right? So health and wellness is scalable, right? If you have a fitness goal, right, or you want to become more physically fit, you're gonna come up with your own plan, and you're gonna say these are the things I want to do, but I'm not there yet. So like I can't. If you tell me you want to run a marathon tomorrow, I can't say, well, go run it, right? We have to start with figuring out where you're at right now. Do you have any limitations? Do you have something that you excel at? How much time do you have? And then we just start building it from there. Okay, like what are you able to do? And then we build it up. But if we don't chunk it down and make it scalable or achievable, then you're never going to get there. So if your goal is to be a runner and you fall into a community of 10,000 other runners, you all need to run. You're just not where an Olympic level runner is. Yep. You still got to go do it.
Baby steps.
Yeah, for sure. And it works that way on every level, whether we're talking nutrition or Olympic weightlifting or just walking on a treadmill.
Yep.
Right?
One step at a time.
Yeah.
Speaking of running, we've got a very important event upcoming next month, June, Beck's 5K. Tell us about the Beck's 5K.
Awesome. It's a great event. It's I think it has become so much more than we ever thought it would. We put it out there to vote each year for a new organization or group to give back to. This year we're giving to Canine for Warriors. Last year it was Team Rubicon. And we've done cancer organizations and so on. But the idea is that we create a fun, family-centered event. And again, Beck's is incredibly gracious with allowing us to use the property, the facilities, everything around it, helping us find sponsorship opportunities and things like that. And we've really turned this into a huge day of just gathering and like giving back. It's a huge deal. I think Laura would be mad at me for not knowing this number.
She's not listening. Laura, you're not.
And this is our fourth 5K, and we're approaching $90,000 that we've given to different organizations.
Impressive.
That is impressive.
Yeah. So I know last year was our biggest to date, and it was Team Rubicon. And it was over $30,000 that we were able to give to them, and but we always pick. We put together 4 or 5 potential organizations, and then we put it out to the company, and we want our employees, our community, our population to have a say, have some ownership in who's receiving these donations, and I think that matters a lot. And we always try to pick an organization that gives back as much as they can. Like Team Rubicon is disaster relief, and they go all over the nation helping people that have just had everything taken from them. We did Rocksteady Boxing Club. I think that was year 1, and they're an organization that gives back to or helps with Parkinson's disease. And so just trying to figure out who's doing really, really good work in the world, and how can we help them achieve that or do a little bit better at it.
So how do I sign up?
You go to you can just Google Beck's 5K, or you can go to Run Sign Up. Again, somebody's going to be mad when they hear this. I don't know the website offhand, but if you Google
okay.
Beck's 5K, it's one
pops.
of the first things that pop up.
Yep.
We also, I share it as a health coach. Every time I put out a message, I try to tag that link on there and things like that. So
Plus, we can participate here locally in Atlanta or virtually, which is what I've done in the past. And don't tell Laura this, but I actually never ran it. I just got on my horse and I rode him for a 5K, and then it totally counted.
Well, you must have an impressive time.
I had a very impressive time. I did not submit the time.
Oh, well, at least you have some integrity.
Well, a little bit, not a whole lot. But
And who are we raising money for this year?
Canine for Warriors.
Nice.
Yep. And so, like Dave said, you can do that right here in Atlanta, or you can do that virtually. You can sign up for that. If you don't want to run it, you can walk it. If you don't want to do either, we are always looking for volunteers. You come out, hand out waters, or turn people around as they get lost, or things like that.
people do get lost.
It's a big loop.
It is a big loop.
It
happens.
Yeah.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
Well, my last question, unless Morgan's got others, but I need you to diss on who's your worst, as an employee, who's the worst person that works out with you and you're like, seriously, they can't lift a thing, and who's your best? Like, who's your best student and your worst student?
I feel like that's a HIPAA violation. It's got to be.
Yeah, it's got to be. Shoot, you probably can't answer that. Can you at least tell us who is a great improver at what they're doing? Can you say that?
That could also be a HIPAA violation.
Shoot, it's all confidential.
I'll give some shout outs.
There we go. That's what we're looking for.
So I have had fitness classes on Tuesday, Thursdays for the last 2 years, maybe?
Yeah, probably.
Year and a half anyway.
Yeah.
Morgan, Maggie Holt, Mike Maringer, Holly Moss, Jason Sanford. Hannah comes in every once in a while.
Come on, Hannah.
Kate Roth. Amelia Mork is in there all the time. I know I'm missing somebody. Jaron Fair.
Yep.
I've got a great class, and if I forgot your name, I'm so sorry. It's impressive to see those folks come in and work every day, because they're able to take their lunch and come in and do that work, and then I know they come out and they do a great job in their field as well. We've done some outside stuff. I sent out a big email a couple months ago. I think the most impressive thing is for me was my group that came out and did the Go Ruck Tough Challenge back in November.
It was mean.
That was not, I did not take part. I was like, no, I'm good.
Easily the worst single day event I've ever done in my life. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in one day. And they signed up and they did not complain. They just came out and did the work, and there was never mention of quit. And
they still like you?
And they still like me, or at least they pretend to.
To his face.
So incredibly impressive. But whether you're doing the Go Ruck or different things, I see it across the company. People go do hard things all the time. So I don't know. I could give 100 shout outs. We have a lot of people here doing a lot of really, really good work, for their own health, and it's impressive.
If someone is listening and struggling to get started in reforming their health, what's the one thing you would encourage them to consider to motivate them to get out there and just get started?
It's right there. Stop waiting for a particular day or a particular birthday or an event to happen. Start now, and start with, if it's physical activity, start with what you like. If you don't like it, you're not going to do it. So if you don't like to lift weights, don't lift weights. If you don't want to run, don't run. But just decide, who you want to be, who is going to achieve the goals that you say that you want to achieve, and go be that person. But you have to start. And then once you start, you just don't stop. You can't have excuse or reasonings with yourself or bargain with yourself to take days off, or unless they're planned and you account for those. You've just got to start.
Yep. Get it going.
Yeah.
Morgan, what'd I miss?
Nothing.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Andy, anything I missed?
I don't believe so.
Okay, we got Beth mentioned, which is most important, and the kids. So after that, it's all downhill sledding.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you do anything at Ball Memorial Hospital?
I did. I that's where I did my clinicals.
Good for you, man. I went there once and was like, I'm good. Never again.
Connected to Ball State in some way?
Yes.
Yeah. Muncie, baby.
Yeah.
Okay. Good old Funcy Muncie.
Funcy.
You got to love it. We recorded a podcast there.
did?
And we had a great time.
I saw that.
We did.
I saw
Yeah,
that.
it was really good stuff
in the
with Trey.
football stadium, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had a fantastic time.
If you ever need a guest to go to football stadiums or sports related events, I'd love to come and help
Carry
you.
our gear.
I will carry gear.
Well, if the Chicago Cubs are listening, we're more than willing to host a podcast at Wrigley Field.
Amen.
I mean, we would surrender our day for that.
Yeah, for sure.
I
willing.
would.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
You're a Cub fan, right?
Huge.
That's what
Go
I thought.
Cubbies.
All Cubs here.
Yeah.
So,
Boom.
well, we've arrived now at our Fun Fast 5. Are you ready?
For sure. Yes.
Okay, this is tough stuff. Almost as hard as the Rough Rock Challenge. or-
Tough.
Tough
Go
Ruck.
Ruck
Ruck.
tough.
Go Rock Tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost. Okay, here we go. Orange juice or apple juice,
Apple juice.
sweet candy or sour candy,
Sweet.
white or wheat bread,
White.
burgers or tacos,
Tacos.
and then wine or beer.
Man, I'm gonna say wine. I like a good dry red wine.
Okay, particular vineyard.
No,
Any particular region of France you like the grapes better than?
Oh yeah.
I'm a very fake wine connoisseur. Like
Okay.
I like dry red wine. I would drink it if it was $3 or if it was $100 bottle.
Amen.
Yeah.
I shop at Aldi's for wine, and I've also bought I've had a really good bottle at Bongi's before.
Yeah, you can't go wrong, right?
It tastes good
Amen.
with
Good.
red meat.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, it can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Well, if you noticed, I picked all food items for you to choose from today.
And I appreciate that. And I'm a normal guy. I like sweets and I like bread, and
You bet.
you know.
That's one of the many things I appreciate about your coaching in particular is you keep it real. You're not asking me
Yeah.
to do these crazy, unrealistic things like, David, I need you to never eat this, this, and this again. Because then I would just walk away going, he's nuts.
Well, most people would, and maybe I failed to say that earlier. Part of the job is meeting people where they are.
Yep.
If you're unrealistic in your expectations, then nobody's going to talk to you.
Yep.
So
Well, we appreciate your coaching, the realness of what you do. It's achievable, and you make it fun.
Yeah,
So thank you for doing that. We really appreciate it. And
for sure. And I just want to say thank you personally for getting me on my journey. And it's been a fun 2 years. It's been tough at times, but I'm the lightest I've been. I'm the happiest and healthiest I've been. So
most handsome.
I won't go that far. I just want to say thank you. And I think, everybody in the workout group would say the thing, it's so much fun having you as a coach and as a friend. And, it's a good time, man.
it is my pleasure, and you're very welcome. Happy to do it.
Sweet.
Well, thank you again, sir, for joining us today.
You bet.
And for all employees, if you're not actively being coached by Andy, take the chance, take the opportunity. It's worth it.
For sure.
It's been a real pleasure to have all of you with us today. Please join us next time on Across the Acres, where our goal is to connect, challenge, and inspire each and every one of you. We ask you to share your thoughts on people and topics for future podcasts by reaching out to us via email at edu@beckshybrids.com. That's EDU, short for education, at beckshybrids.com. You can follow us on all social media platforms, including We Are Becks. Please give us a 5-star rating and follow us on the podcast provider of your choice. And until next time, we'll catch you across the acres.